Here we go. Let's finish strong, Timmy. 20 seconds, Tim. Work hard. Work hard, Tim. Work. Come on.
With just 4 weeks left until the Errol Spence vs. Tim Tszyu fight, both training camps are beginning to reveal two very different approaches as each fighter prepares for the biggest challenge ahead.
Good, man. Good thing I started camp early because, I mean, stuff started. You feel stuff like aches and things that I don't know if I felt them 3 years ago, but
For Errol Spence, this training camp is all about showing that he is still the same elite fighter. Since losing to Crawford, many have questioned his speed, condition, motivation, and whether he can still compete with the best in boxing. Now, he is putting in the work, improving his pressure, finding his rhythm again, and preparing like a former champion determined to remind everyone who he really is. For Tim Tszyu, this camp is about making the most of a huge opportunity. He is younger, active, motivated, and training with the belief that beating Spence would take his career to a whole new level. With Jeff Fenech and his team guiding him, the focus is not only on power but also on discipline, defense, and being fully prepared for the best version of Errol Spence. That is what makes this matchup so exciting, with one fighter trying to prove his career is far from over.
Yeah. One. Two. One. Yeah. Yeah, let's go. One. Yeah. Good. Double left. One. So yeah. Two. One. So yeah. Yeah, let's go.
Next, we see Errol Spence preparing for his comeback fight against Tim Tszyu, and it clearly shows how seriously he is taking this challenge. Instead of posting random gym footage, he is training with purpose like a fighter determined to answer every doubt surrounding him. His main focus is improving his sharpness, movement, fitness, and overall rhythm before fight night. After spending time away from the ring, this camp is all about getting his timing back and making sure his body performs at its best again. With Tim Tszyu waiting across the ring, Spence cannot afford to be slow or out of form because Tszyu is active, powerful, and ready to push him from the opening bell. Every pad session, every drill, and every round of training is focused on proving that Errol Spence still has what it takes to compete with the best. He is smashing the pads during a new training session, and this is exactly the kind of footage fans have been hoping to see. Spence looks locked in, sharp, and fully committed to his comeback. His punches have speed and power, his combinations are smooth, and his body shots remain one of his biggest strengths. This is not just about putting on a show for the cameras. It is about proving that he is doing the hard work and getting himself ready for the upcoming fight against Tim Tszyu.
One. One. Two. One. So left hand hook. One. Slip. Yeah. So jab slip. Uppercut hook roll.
Now, go. This way. See, you have to slip. Go. One. Did you have to slip? Turn up, go. Good there. That's that. One. There you go. Did you have to slip? There we go. That's it. One.
Meanwhile, Tim Tszyu is also putting in the work for his fight against Errol Spence, and his training camp has a completely different intensity. He is not approaching this like an ordinary fight. Instead, he is preparing like a boxer who understands that defeating Spence could take his career to the next level. His punches look crisp, the intensity is high, and every drill is designed to get him ready for a tough and physical battle.
Bring this foot here. That's it. Yeah, now do it. That's it. Leave it. That's it. Good boy. Just bring it up. That's it. Chin down, Timmy. Bring it down. Tim, from where you are, I'm just going to ask you what comes next. Just do that to me. No, yeah, but just watch and see. Yeah, and that all here, boom, and boom. You know, that's it. The weight's the power from the hips. Twist it.
That is important because Errol Spence is not just another opponent making a comeback. Even after his loss to Crawford, he still has the experience, excellent body punching, and the toughness of a former world champion. Tim Tszyu knows he must be ready for the best version of Spence, not the one some fans believe is finished. That is exactly what his training camp reflects. Tszyu is not expecting Spence to slow down on his own. He is preparing to set the pace, apply constant pressure, and take control of the fight himself.
Hey guys, Jeff Fennick here. We're 1 week into our training camp and Tim's getting better and better every day. Around 10 weeks to go. We're going to see a new Tim Tszyu out there. We're going to have the man who's hungry enough to win the fight.
He is not just working the pads or throwing punches for the cameras. Tim Tszyu is doing crunches, skipping rope, pushing through conditioning drills, and making sure his body is fully prepared for a fight that could become physical very quickly. The rope work helps improve his rhythm, footwork, and endurance, while the core exercises are designed to strengthen his body so he can handle pressure and body shots. That is especially important because Errol Spence is known for making fights difficult by setting a relentless pace, attacking the body, and wearing opponents down in the later rounds. Tim's training shows he is not focused only on power but also on building the stamina, movement, and toughness needed to face the best version of Errol Spence.
You get in there completely sweating, it's drenched, it's hot, there's no air, but you find ways to keep on getting better.
4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. 48, 49.
I mean, these conditions, running in 36, 37 degrees, high humidity, it's no joke. And it really does test an athlete mentally, particularly when they're training at that kind of intensity.
Look, he's always been focused, yeah? But this time I will say that he's putting more effort because he knows. This fight means for him everything. As they said, for them,
Tim Tszyu is running, doing push-ups, completing crunches, skipping rope, and pushing his conditioning to prepare for a fight that could turn into a tough physical battle at any moment. The running is helping him build his endurance, while the push-ups and crunches are strengthening his body to handle pressure, clinches, and body shots. His rope work is focused on improving his rhythm, balance, and footwork, showing that every part of his training is aimed at being fully ready for the challenge ahead.
Slow time. Slow time.
The track is a boxer's best friend and also the worst enemy.
What a beautiful day, too.
The spread's got my legs far, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
That's all. No pain, no gain.
that's exactly.
Then we see Tim Tszyu showing a refreshed style during training, and his pad work stands out right away. He is no longer relying only on pressure and power. Instead, he is sharpening his timing, improving his reactions, tightening his defense, and moving with more control. The advanced pad drills highlight his team's focus on increasing his hand speed, head movement, defensive skills, and overall timing before the Errol Spence fight. That is important because Spence is not an opponent you can beat by simply coming forward. Tim needs to fight with intelligence, defend well, move his head, choose the right moments to attack, and stop Spence from building momentum. This training footage suggests that Tszyu is doing more than just working harder. He is making major improvements to his overall style ahead of one of the biggest fights of his career. Tim Tszyu is now sending a strong retirement warning to Errol Spence Jr., and his message could not be clearer. If Spence is no longer the fighter he once was, Tszyu wants to be the one who steps into the ring and proves it.
But why should fans tune in to Errol Spence against Tim Tszyu?
I think stylistically, it's the last hooray for Errol Spence. Get in and watch his last fight.
But you plan, I guess, a plan for a retirement plan, would you say? For
Of course, if he's already talking about holidays and retirement plans, then
This fight is especially dangerous because Errol Spence is returning with plenty of questions surrounding him. Fans are wondering if the loss to Crawford changed him, if the time away from the ring affected his sharpness, and if his body can still handle a tough fight at the highest level. Tim Tszyu understands all of that, which is why he is speaking with so much confidence. For him, this is about more than defeating a well-known opponent. It is about finding out if Spence is still the same fighter who dominated with pressure, body shots, timing, and championship toughness. If Spence brings that version of himself, Tszyu knows he must be ready for a hard battle. But if Spence has slowed down, lost a step, or is still feeling the effects of the past, Tszyu believes this could be the fight that ends his comeback and even pushes him toward retirement. That is why his warning carries so much weight. He respects Spence's achievements, but he is not intimidated by his reputation and sees this as the perfect opportunity to stop the comeback before it truly begins.
I know the type of fighter he is. He likes to take on again hard challenges. But I'm going to give him that regret feeling that he should have taken a warm-up fight.
Yeah. Obviously, he had people haven't seen much anything of him from the last few years, and he had he had an open workout a few weeks ago, and a lot of people took from that people looking like he's slow and this and that. I don't know if you took anything from it, but also I guess did you take anything from it if you'd seen anything from?
Honestly, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah,
but I feel like Errol's is a monotone type guy.
Yeah,
He's what he's good at is that constant pressure, constant punching, and it doesn't have to be flashy and quick and stuff like that. He knows when to throw the punch, and he keeps on going until you have to be until it's sink or swim type situation.
From Errol Spence's perspective, Tim Tszyu is speaking as if his career is already over. The retirement comments, the constant doubts about his comeback, and the criticism following the Crawford loss make it seem like people believe he has nothing left to offer. Spence does not see himself that way. He is not returning to become another fighter's stepping stone. He still believes he has the pressure, strength, body punching, experience, and championship ability needed to compete at the highest level. So when Tszyu suggests he could send him into retirement, Spence takes it as a sign of disrespect. That is why this matchup has become more personal. He is not just fighting to earn a victory, but to prove to Tszyu and everyone else that one defeat did not erase everything he has accomplished or the fighter he still believes he is.
I wasn't disrespectful to him. It's a fight. And, I think I heard something he said about they gonna do me like Fundora did Keith Thurman and just talk about a whole bunch of crap, and then he expect me to come shake his hand. And I just wasn't in the mood for that. It's time to fight. We're in a tough fight. Say it's gonna be a war, then let it be there.
Errol, I don't know if you remember a few years ago, after Amel became undisputed, you were in the tent and Tim Tszyu's name came up and you were like, Tim Tszyu is trash. Do you still feel like that? And he's fought a couple guys since then. Do you think he's grown at all since you first said that as a fighter?
Yeah, he's good.
From Errol Spence's point of view, Tim Tszyu can talk about retirement, his age, the time away from the ring, and whether the Crawford loss changed him, but none of those comments affect how he sees himself. Spence still believes his experience, championship-level performances, relentless pressure, body punching, and toughness give him the edge over Tszyu. That is why his reaction feels so personal. He is not returning just to prove he can still compete. He wants to show that people counted him out far too soon. While Tszyu may be younger, active, and full of confidence, Spence believes he is still the better fighter. This matchup is no longer just about answering questions surrounding his comeback. It has become a battle for pride. Tszyu believes he can expose Spence, but Spence is determined to remind everyone why he was once considered one of the most feared fighters in boxing.
Not really working now. I'm working a lot smarter than I'm working hard. Like I'm still working hard, but I'm taking the time to listen to my body. Like, nah, we gonna chill today, or nah, we not gonna go hard every day. You can't go hard every day, especially when you like older fighters used to tell me this, but now I know once you get a little older, your body will tell you like, nah, like chill today. I already gave you 3 hard days. Like we gonna take it light today. Yeah. So it's been a huge adjustment.
Errol Spence is sparring with one of Tim Tszyu's former opponents, adding another important element to his comeback training camp. This is not just routine sparring. It shows that Spence is preparing specifically for the style, pressure, and toughness that Tszyu brings into the ring. Working with someone who has already faced Tszyu gives his team valuable insight into the habits, timing, and pace they could encounter on fight night. That is especially important because Spence cannot afford any mistakes in this comeback. After the Crawford loss, everyone is watching to see if his timing, sharpness, and physical condition are still at an elite level. Bringing in the right sparring partner proves he is taking Tszyu very seriously. It also sends a clear message to Tszyu that Spence is doing more than making promises. He is studying, preparing, and building his entire camp to beat the version of Tszyu that many believe could end his comeback.
Ronnie Shields, Errol's current trainer, Errol looking in great shape. And who's this next to him? None other than Brian Mendoza, Cuban-American, who actually fought Tim Tszyu. We'll get to that in a second. So, right off rip, one thing I'm noticing is Brian Mendoza always in shape, always kind of ready to go. Every time I've seen him, he's in shape. Errol don't look really small next to him. I mean, y'all let me know what you think in the comment section. But that's a good sign because Errol Spence, this will be his first fight at 154. And if he looked like real small, that would be potentially problematic, right? Going up against Tim Tszyu, who's been fighting, former champion in that division. So right off rip, that's the first thing I noticed is that Errol looks dialed in about 4 weeks out from his fight. And now that we have a barometer in Brian Mendoza, I mean, look at Errol's shoulders. Look at, the width of him. It look like they're in the same division. So Errol definitely filling out. And what's beneficial for Errol is we're talking about
His message was that people are writing off Errol Spence far too quickly because of the loss to Crawford. In his view, one defeat against an exceptional fighter does not erase everything Spence has achieved in boxing. Errol became a unified champion through relentless pressure, effective body punching, toughness, discipline, and his ability to wear opponents down over the course of a fight. That is why Porter believes Spence still has what it takes to beat Tim Tszyu. Tszyu is strong, active, and full of confidence, but Spence has competed on bigger stages and faced high-pressure moments throughout his career. He knows how to stay composed, settle into a fight, and gradually take control. Porter also believes the biggest factor is Spence's physical condition. If he returns looking rusty, slow, or lacking sharpness, Tszyu can make it a very difficult night. But if Spence is healthy, fully focused, and comfortable working with Ronnie Shields, Porter believes his skill, experience, and ring IQ are still enough to overcome the challenge.
Because I know how good I am, but there's times where I'm like, even I blow myself away. And I mean, the stuff that I did with these guys this weekend, I blew myself away. I'm still talking about it to my lady and everything. I'm still hyped up about it. So you guys be looking out for those interviews. Shout out to Fox Australia, man. They're going to bless us. They're going to put together the finished product and they're going to give it to us so that we can put it on our platform, which is, to me, is amazing. I'm super